How will Syracuse football do in non-conference play next season?
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And on this week's Poll Friday, I asked you guys the question, how many wins will Syracuse football get in its non-conference slate next season? I'll go over the slate for you. It is Ohio, Holy Cross, at UNLV, and UConn. So I asked you guys, what's your record prediction? The choices were 0-4 / 1-3. So either 0-4, 1-3, 2-2, 3-1, or 4-0. Pretty straightforward, right? What's your record prediction? There were 276 total votes for this week's Poll Friday. And a reminder, you can vote throughout the week, Monday through Thursday, really. That's when I close the voting, is on Thursday. I ask you guys the question. You can vote on both Twitter at @LO_Syracuse and on YouTube. There were 276 votes this week. And the winner with about 65% of the votes was 4-0. So you guys are feeling pretty optimistic that Syracuse football will sweep its non-conference slate next season. In second place, 3-1 with about 25% of the votes. So those two combined for about 90%. So the overwhelming majority of you guys feel that Syracuse football is going to go at least 3-1 in their non-conference slate next season. The rest of the choices combined for about 10%. I agree with you guys that I think Syracuse football will go 4-0 in non-conference play next season, but the minimum is 3-1. And I'm going to be completely honest, for those that voted 2-2 or worse, please leave a comment below why you think Syracuse football will only win 2 or less games in their non-conference slate next season. Because once again, the non-conference slate is Ohio, Holy Cross, at UNLV, and UConn. I challenge you to find me 2 losses. I understand 1, which is why I say I think the minimum is 3-1. UNLV is not a cupcake. That is a pretty tough game. UNLV was a bowl team last season. They got returning starters. They're a pretty good team, and you got to go on the road, although I do think Syracuse can certainly beat them. I'm predicting them to beat them. Who else? Who is the other team that's going to beat Syracuse in the non-con? Because the other ones are Ohio, Holy Cross, and UConn. All home games. Who's Syracuse going to lose to out of those 3? Who are they going to lose to, right? Ohio is probably the toughest of those 3 games, but still that's a home game. That's the first week of the season, and Syracuse is currently a 15.5-point favorite to beat Ohio. So I think they're going to beat Ohio at home. I just can't see Syracuse going less than 3-1 in their non-conference slate. They can lose to UNLV, but if they don't beat the other 3 teams, it could be a disaster. And I'm going to talk about that after this. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. It's one thing to watch baseball on TV. That at times can get pretty boring, but going to a game in person is an awesome experience, and I'm looking forward to watching the Mets this summer. They just sweep the Yankees and are back to 500, just a game and a half out of the playoffs. So, hey, it could be a fun summer for the Mets. Thank goodness for Grimace. But anyways, Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace in Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets, and all you have to do is go to Gametime and search the team you want to see of your choosing. It can be Major League Baseball or for any league for that matter, and ticket options will appear right away. My favorite part is the all-in pricing feature. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Hello, everyone, and welcome back into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer. On this week's Poll Friday, I asked you guys the question, what do you think Syracuse football's record will be in non-conference play next season? And about 275 of you guys voted. No, it's 276 of you guys voted. And most of you guys said that Syracuse is either going to go 4-0 or 3-1. It was 90%, and I agree with you guys. In fact, I think they're going to go 4-0. Here's what happens if Syracuse football does go 4-0 or at minimum 3-1 in non-conference play next season. You're looking at an 8+ win year potentially. If Syracuse football can have a strong record in the non-con, then all they have to really do is be mediocre in ACC play to get more wins than they've had since 2018. Right? They've won 7 games they won 7 games 2 years ago. They won 6 games last year. In 2018, they won 10. If you go 4-0, 3-1, you're looking at possibly 8 or 9 wins in the regular season. I personally have them at 8-4. However, there is that doomsday scenario, which was about 10% of you guys who said 2-2 or worse. If they do go 2-2 or worse, it is a complete disaster for the season. I mean, something must have gone horribly wrong if they go 2-2. I pointed out how UNLV is definitely the toughest game of the non-conference slate, but aside from that, the other 3 games should all be just circled wins. You should win all 3 of them. Ohio, Holy Cross, UConn, all at home. You got to beat all 3 of those teams. Something went horribly wrong if you didn't win. If you go 2-2 or worse, they're not going to make a bowl game. They will not make a bowl game if they go 2-2 or worse, which is why I said it is a complete disaster. Because let's say they do go 2-2, that means they have to go 4-0 or 4-4 in the ACC. And if you can't beat a team like Ohio and you can't beat a team like Holy Cross or you can't beat a team like UConn, then how do you expect that this team is going to find a way to win 4 conference games? That's the logic behind it. They will not make a bowl game if they go 2-2, but luckily enough, I don't think that's going to happen. I think most people, in fact, when I asked the question, 90% of you guys do not see that happening. You guys think that they're going to go at least 3-1, so we can avoid the doomsday scenario of possibly a 4-8, 3-9 season. I mean, that would be an absolute disaster if the team was that bad. I don't even want to think like that right now. Honestly, I don't want to think about the doomsday scenario. That would just honestly suck. So let's just think about how they might be able to make the college football playoff if everything breaks right. I think that's the better way to look at it. All right, so hopefully they go 4-0, but at very minimum, they're going to go 3-1 in non-conference play next season. That is it for this week's Poll Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, click that like button. And if you really liked it, tell all your friends, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you know right away when I am dropping the next podcast. A reminder of how to vote for Poll Friday. I ask you guys the question every single Monday around noon-ish is when I asked it. I put it on both Twitter and on YouTube. The Twitter is in the description below at LO_Syracuse. I asked you guys the question. All you got to do is hit a simple button to place your vote. And then, of course, I release it every Friday at 6 p.m. Although there was that one week when I did it on a Saturday. Poll Friday on a Saturday has happened before. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Everyone, have a great weekend.